I don't know how to explain it. You both left Bruno Fernandes out. I don't know how you've done that, both
Yeah,
of
I'm
you.
waiting for Bruno.
Oh my God.
I was like, both of you left Bruno Fernandes out for Mason Mount. For Mason Mount.
I've completely forgot about him. What's going
Bruno,
on?
to be fair.
Kez, let's start with you now. Let's go for your team. I want to see what our guest Arsenal fan has got. Have you got Bukayo Saka in there by any chance?
I'm still not 100% on Saka yet, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to
that. There's a bit of overlap actually with Lewis's team. So I've gone for Martinez in goal.
Yep.
I think what he's done at Villa is phenomenal. He's gone there and equaled Brad Friedel's record for clean sheets. He said something interesting when he left Arsenal, which I thought was taking a mick at the time, but he's proven correct. He was saying that leaving Arsenal and going to Villa, most would see it as a step down, but he sees it as a step up.
Yep.
And let's just say that's aged well for him because he's definitely stepped up since he's left. So I've got Martinez in goal. Again, with the centre-backs, for me, it's Diaz standout, and I have gone with Fofana as well as my centre-halves. Right back, I want to throw a name into the hat that probably won't get mentioned often, Vladimir COUFAL. I think the impact he's had at West Ham, I mean, you look at how well West Ham are doing this season, consistent performer. You know, he doesn't do anything too spectacular, but you know what you're going to get from him week in, week out. So for me, he has to be in there. And Luke Shaw, I've gone left back. Yep. Luke Shaw. In the midfield, I've gone for three-man midfield. So I've gone Declan Rice in the pivot.
Okay.
My holding midfielder. I've got Mount and Foden in there, sort of in a more advanced midfield positions.
Yep.
So that's my midfield. And then going up top, we've got Kane. Yeah, and then this is where... So I'm probably going to throw Saka in there.
Okay.
On one side.
Arsenal. And he's on the right-hand side, I guess. He's a utility player, to be fair.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's got to be in the squad. But if we're saying first 11, it's a funny one because I've just mentioned Salah and the season he's having.
Top goal scorer.
Honorable mention for him. Yeah, top goal scorer. But I like Jack Grealish. I think ball carrier. For me, he has to be in there. So I'd probably go Jack Grealish on the left and Saka on the right with Kane through the middle.
I quite like the fact they put in COUFAL. COUFAL, to spoil it, is in my team as well. I think it's been fantastic. And I think when you look at Ryan Fredericks and Zabaleta and Mikel Antonio, who you've had over the years, not you, but how West Ham have had over the years, they finally solidified that right-back spot. And that was something where if you looked at West Ham and especially Aston Villa last season, both fighting for relegation, both struggling. Emi Martinez has come in and replaced Heaton and Jed Steer. I think there's keepers as well. And it was someone that you can literally rely and depend upon. And that's probably what he meant by in terms of a step up. Is going to be the number one at Aston Villa, and he has been, and has done amazingly well. Personally, I quite like your team. I quite like the fact you've got Mount and Foden, and I don't know how to explain it. You both left Bruno Fernandes out. I don't know how you've done that, both of you.
I'm waiting for Bruno.
Oh my God.
I was like, both of you left Bruno Fernandes out for Mason Mount. For Mason Mount.
I've completely forgot about him. What's going on?
To be fair.
Nah, man. I was literally just waiting. I was like, he's probably up top somewhere. It's probably just like on the left as well. No, that was crazy.
He's doing the line, isn't he?
I'm going to play right back in a minute. Do you know what? That is... I cannot believe I've left him out because, yeah, he has been phenomenal. Like, they do say, Penandes, not true at all. He can do it all. He is genuinely phenomenal, that guy.
Quiet in the big games?
Your team. Say again?
Quiet in the big games?
What, you mean the one against...
Exactly. Like, yeah, to be fair, like, there are times where he goes... He's a streaky player because he will play 10 games and have fantastic games. Then he'll go quiet for about 3 or 4. And then he'll go on another 10-game streak and it'll be fantastic again. So, like, I only know that purely. I don't watch Man United week in, week out like you do, obviously, but I know it from FPL. That's all I got. That's all my stats are based on. Literally just FPL all the time. But how I've left him out, I don't know. I feel like such an idiot. I knew I'd have egg on my face at some point in this episode.
Nah, I was like, I'll wait for Kez to say his, and if he's done it as well, then that's something that I need to bait you out on.
Run.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, a few similarities between the two teams. And then I like the shout out for COUFAL because he also features in mine as well. I think him at right back for West Ham and just West Ham overall this season. Obviously, they've dropped off a little bit towards the end, but, Souček as well. He could be easily getting a mention as well. But yeah, no, I like Mount and Foden featuring. Obviously, their seasons have been phenomenal, fantastic. Obviously, both going to feature in the Champions League final against each other then obviously you can't overlook the likes of Harry Kane up front. Saka, I thought was a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, I'm sure there's no bias towards that out and out thought provoke. But yeah, of course, I think this is what these things are for. Obviously, is seeing like what people's opinions, and I think, like you said, Grealish as well. Grealish is a phenomenal player. It's a shame he's been out for such a long period, and I hope it doesn't hinder his chances of going to the Euros. And it shouldn't, but you know, this is we have Gareth Southgate as a manager, so who knows?
And I just wanted to know, before we get to Lewis's reaction, how you chose Declan Rice as your holding midfielder after the likes of Kante, Rodri, and Didi. Even Souček at West Ham have done really well this season. I just kind of wanted to know your kind of thought process with choosing Declan Rice in that midfield.
I just think the impact and influence he's had for someone so young, and the maturity he plays with, he's impressed me every time he's been on the pitch. Again, Rodri, yeah, great quality, but I've gone for the young gun, putting in consistent performances and having a real impact on West Ham's season. And I look at what West Ham have done this season, and they've far exceeded expectations. So anyone from that team deserves a mention, because Rodri slipped in and he's done what he's supposed to do at Man City. They've won the league. You know, guys have done what they're supposed to do. Declan Rice and West Ham have sort of overachieved. So I thought he deserved a shout out for that.
No, that's fair enough.
I agree with that. I think sometimes when it's kind of like a big fish in a small pond, isn't it? With Declan Rice, there's not many big names obviously with the likes of Jesse Lingard now playing at West Ham for the second half of the season. There's not many big names. You've got a big name like Rodri, but he's getting overshadowed by Gundogan, Foden, De Bruyne, whereas Rice will stand out in a team like that because there are not many like world-class players surrounding him. So when he does something really good, it shows. And I think he's been key to their success, because a lot of the success with West Ham this season is how quick they counter-attack. They get the ball in defence and then they quickly counter-attack, and it's the transitional play from defence to attack. And Rice has been the mainstay of that. He intercepts the ball straight off, forward thinking, forward ball.